Howls over Baaz. I'm Ronnie Adams.
And I'm Jacob Casas. And this episode is called Don't Shoot the Messenger. And just check us out. We are live on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Facebook. We have a special guest with us today. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Sxmmnz the Creative. You can check me out on my IG, Sxmmnz_the_creative. Sxmmnz. I kind of got lost in the song.
No, it's all good.
We just wanted to shoot out your name, whatever you want to do. So you're Josh Sxmmnz, right? That's your name?
Josh Sxmmnz, but I go by Sxmmnz, my last name, because I'm hustling for my last name. So, yeah, I'm just here to check out my boys and, shoot the shits and have a good conversation.
Entrepreneur, producer.
Yeah, so tell them a little bit about what you do. Like, why are you here, like, as a howler?
I do a lot of things. I really do a lot of things, which is, man, I'm kind of like a Renaissance man, so if you want to say so. But I'm an entrepreneur of sorts, rapper, producer, songwriter, photographer, videographer, clothing designer. What else do
Music.
Music, like I do everything when it comes to creativity. Like that's why they call me Sxmmnz the Creative.
So how long you been an entrepreneur for?
Man, I want to say I had this spirit up in me since like as a young mustache. Like when I was 18, like I would do my music thing on the side or whatever, growing up, whatever. And then fast forward or whatever, like music with the homies that I was doing at the time with, it kind of fell flat. So I shift gears into camera work. So I started doing photography and videography. So a lot of people know me as a photographer, videographer, because I shifted and I still did music on the side, but it wasn't my bread and butter. I had to go where the money was at. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, I was doing my clothing brand as well, Sxmmnz Corner. So I have a website for that if you want to go check it out.
Sxmmnz Corner?
Sxmmnz Corner.
Okay. Spelled like your last name or spelled like?
Sxmmnz Corner.
Sxmmnz.com.
But, so I got into the game, whatever. It was always something that was in me because of my family. I come from an entrepreneurial type of family. My mom did real estate and other numerous things. Stepdad, he always built homes, contractor. My grandfather was an entrepreneur. Just a whole list of people that was in my family. So that was just in the blood, and
what about your brothers and sisters? You have any brothers and sisters? Are they entrepreneurs? Or they have like-minded?
Like, even though, like, my sister, she's the one that's under me. I'm the oldest of 5.
Okay.
She works a regular job, but she also does side hustles as an entrepreneur. My brother, Deontay, everybody know him as Prezi. He does his entrepreneurial things. PJ, he be out here doing this little thing. You might know him as Rock Boy. My younger brother, Ryan, he's the youngest of us all. He does entrepreneurial things as far as contracting. So
it's 5 kids and all 5 are entrepreneurs.
Hustlers.
So I saw on I was checking a lot of your stuff out throughout the time when Ronnie was talking about wanting to bring you on.
Yeah.
And I saw that you did a shoot for a big influencer.
Yeah.
So
Tim
is that a lot of
Stories.
things? Well, sorry. Go ahead. Talk about that.
Tim Stories, and that was brought through my boy Francis, because Tim Stories is his mentor. And Tim Stories, he has a lot of connections to a lot of people in the industry, the Oprahs, Tyler Perry's, the people of that magnitude. Yeah. He does a lot of work, and he does a lot of speaking engagements, coaching people, and he also does ministry of sorts. Okay. So he's a very good dude, very genuine dude, somebody you want to be around. So it was a dope opportunity.
He called your number.
Francis, my boy Francis.
Yeah.
He was the one that bridged it.
Okay.
But the thing is
he trusts you to do that kind of work,
and that's
for a massive influence.
That's what I was about to get to.
So you must be knowing what you do. You know what I mean?
It's that, and the fact that when you're a solid person and you're trustworthy and you come through on your word, people's going to respect that. And you're putting out quality work and you don't try to do grimy business with people and to manipulate or take advantage of. That's going to resonate, and especially I'm good at what I believe in is over-delivering. So I say I'm about to do this. So say if he hired me to do just pictures at an event, I'm gonna come through with some video too. I don't have to. I don't have to.
Yes.
But they're gonna remember that. You
Yes.
feel me? So you gotta plant those seeds so that it makes you stick out and you're memorable. It's like, okay, I have another engagement coming on. Let me hit Sxmmnz because he did this. He didn't have to do that, but he did blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then it's like from there, it's a trickle down effect where they're satisfied. Now they're recommending you to their people, their friends, family, whatever the case may be. Now you got more business coming through and generating. So that's my philosophy. I always try to over deliver. It might be of a thing like you want to undersell yourself. So when you come through, it's like, oh dang, I didn't know he was going to do like.
Right.
So oftentimes, like that's how
That's
I
a good
win.
sales pitch.
That's how I win with clients. Is I'll say I'm gonna do this, I undersell, and then I come through with extras, and they're like, oh okay, like he the truth.
So how long have you been doing the production side of things? Because I mean that's a big, huge influence that you did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the person that connected you with him to do that had to really trust your work.
100%.
So I mean, I would like the audience to know, you know, how good you are for someone to bring you in, to trust you to do a massive influencer like that. Because I mean, if anything that went wrong, it's on him and you. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So he trusted you. So
Yeah.
let the people know what kind of work you do, like how good you are at it.
Which part? Because there's
Let's start at-
music
let's-
production and
Let's start at the
video
photography because that,
Okay.
you know, I'm sure, you know, I've seen a lot of like a 360 booth that you have. I've seen a lot of finances, you know, money that you had to put inside of your business.
100%.
So can you tell us about like the photography part, the video part, like?
So the photography, I've been doing that since it's been 12 plus years, if I want to say. Man, it wasn't like when I was younger, never had a vision to do photography. It was never a thing in my mind. I wanted to do music. That was the only thing that was
And
in
when
my
did that
head.
music start? Before we get back to photography, when did that?
I was doing that since I was in middle school.
Oh, was that
So-
your dream?
That was my thing, like just rapping. And then out of necessity, I started making beats because I couldn't get beats. I tell the story all the time is that before Hit Boy got like super popping,
Shout out to Hit Boy.
I came across him or whatever, and he was selling beats at the time, and I was around 18. Like I barely have like it's my first job, whatever the case may be, and through a friend I had met him, whatever introductions and whatnot. He was selling beats for $100. In hindsight, cheap as hell. But at the time, I'm like, I ain't got money to be spending $100. I don't know about that one. So it was just like parting ways with $100. I didn't understand it at that point. But fast forward, I'm like, oh, that's actually cheap. But it forced me, well, I started making beats from around 16, 17. I remember I got Fruity Loops from my homeboy, Mike Ramirez. I had the demo version. So with the demo version back in the day, around Fruity Loops 5, 6, or whatever, you could make beats, but you couldn't save the session. So whatever you did, you had to export it. That was it. If you shut that program down.
Right.
So that was like my introduction, and I shift to different programs since. Now I'm run through Logic Pro X, but that was my beginning stages of music and production.
That was your first love.
That was my first love. And at that time, when I want to say 23, 24, me and some of the homies, we was trying to put together an independent label, got the LOC, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, we're going to need pictures and videos. Somebody was like, so at that time, I was like, let me take some of this income tax money and invest it. And that's a key that a lot of times, and I'm going to put that out there.
Go ahead.
A lot of times people get their income taxes and they don't use that to invest into themselves. I always took a portion of that because I got kids. I spent it on my kids, and now I invested in myself. And so that's how I came across my first camera, investing into myself. Like, all right, we need this camera to do pictures and videos. It's going to be necessary for promo, so let's get it. So Canon T4i, that was my first camera. Now there's so many cameras that have been made since then, but that was my first camera, and I decided like consciously to do photography first, so I can learn the functions of the camera, how the f-stops work, the ISO, the everything down the line. I like how it worked.
You studied it.
I studied it, so that way, like once I learn how it functions, it translates it translates well in my mind when it's time to do video. So when you're filming, so it's like doing the same settings or whatever, but it's just different. Now it's a couple of new things, variables, as far as the frames per second, and things of that nature. But outside of that, the quality and things like that, it's all the same. So once I learned the camera as far as the photography, I'm like, let me jump out here. I'll do sessions here and there, but I would just go back to work. Yeah. Like I always had like a regular job. I haven't worked a regular job since 2018 now. But during that time, I'm like, all right, I got to do what I got to do type situation. So fast forward, my homeboy Latif, shout out my boy Latif, he started doing photography sometime after me, like as far as the initial time. But he took it serious, started learning Photoshop, the Lightroom and all that, and he started bubbling. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, you get a lot of traction. So I started having a conversation with him, whatever. I'm like, damn, I'm like, there's like money in this. Like I would make a little couple dollars here and there. I wasn't taking it serious like that, the way I should have. So once I seen from like with my eyes that there's real money in this, I'm like, all right, let me crack down. Let me really learn this. Let me really learn Photoshop. Because at the time, I would just try to edit through Lightroom. That's, which Lightroom came a long way. That's a different conversation. But at the time, like, to really get that look that you wanted, you would need to go through Photoshop. So I would try to, like, cut corners and not learn Photoshop for the longest. And it got time to the point where it's like, if you really want this thing to go far, you're going to have to learn this. So I just dove in and started learning whatever, had different conversations with my boy Latif and other photographers or whatever, getting game here and there, going on YouTube. Because I never went to school for none of this. Music production, clothing, none of that. It's all YouTube University. That's what I live by.
Yeah.
So going through the process of learning photography, it gave me the information that I needed to get to filming. That was what I really wanted to do music videos. But fast forward, I'm like, I'll do music videos today, but I really want to get into actually doing feature films and shows and things of that nature. So that's where it landed me, like, in a nutshell. I started not even having no clue of doing any type of camera work.
Right. Like, so is that your bread and butter right now? Is that photography?
Photography, because I'm like, it grew from doing just photography to doing video, doing the 360 booth, the photo booth. And as far as like whatever type of photo shoot you need to do, I can do that. Like,
so this is what you perfect in your craft. You perfecting your photo.
Pretty much, because I'm like, at this point, music is easy for me. Making beats and writing songs is easy. And I think being the fact, like I said, I'm Sxmmnz the creative. And I had to learn at least about myself that I think I have like an ADHD type of situation. So I'll get bored with something and I need a new challenge. I've done music like majority of my life. So I'm like, I can always come back to that. That's easy. Let me jump into these cameras. It's challenging me. It's making me think. It's making me uncomfortable. You want to get uncomfortable to learn, because you ain't gonna learn if you always comfortable. You gotta put like that pressure. You gotta feel that.
Yes.
You gotta feel that weight. If you ain't feeling that weight, then it's just like you're stagnant. You're content.
That's real.
That's real.
You gotta be uncomfortable, because I mean, at the same time, that's when you start bazzing out, and you start be complacent, and you kind of just think that. I mean, you get lazy, and if you don't just keep testing yourself and challenging yourself, then it just all goes to waste.
100%.
All that stuff you just did starts going to waste.
100%. And you lose the like it's like that in training. If you stop exercising or stop playing the sport, whatever the case, you lose that. Like if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right.
You got to keep it active. You got to keep on activating it. Activate that muscle.
Well, even with my business, right? So I got stagnant. We were doing decent, and I was just living off that, and I was just like, whatever, I'm just going to stay this way. Then I started thinking, what am I doing? I can make more money. I can do so much more. So I just started doing it again, just started pushing. And that's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because
you can literally become a Baaz on your own, even be an entrepreneur.
Right.
You could just get stuck, or not even stuck, because you just got comfortable again, and you got to get uncomfortable, just like you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know if y'all know who David Goggins is.
Yes.
One of the baddest motherfuckers in the world. But I remember he said something to the effect that, like, you don't want to become domesticated as an animal. You gotta keep that beast.
Yeah.
If you
I like
become
that.
if you become a house dog, like you're gonna lose that edge. That's gonna make you attack.
Right.
It's like you're gonna be afraid to take those risks and try to push and stuff, because it's like, all right, like I'm only supposed to operate in this perimeter. Like if you put I want to say it's a horse or an elephant, one of the two. Like if you put like I can't think of the actual phrase, but a rope around them to keep them in their space. In their mind, they can't move because it's connected to this pole, so I can't move. This is where you're making yourself a prisoner.
Yeah.
It's not even that you are truly prison. It's your mindset. So it's like, all right, I can't move. I'm gonna stay right here. This is all I'm gonna do with the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt imprisoned in your field? Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Like, or
100%. Because the thing is, even though there's a lot of evidence out there, you can go Google, YouTube, whatever. When you're creating something from scratch and you don't know nobody personally, like how to build this out, like you don't know where the path is going. Because this is a pathway, like you don't have no family, no friends close to you that built out a pathway where you can follow.
Right.
When you're creating the path, it's on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Especially if you're creative, like your name, right?
Yeah.
If you're creative, you're a lot of times you're creating things that doesn't really exist, and that's even like harder.
You know?
You know what I'm saying? There's no blueprint,
Right.
So you got to create your own.
100%.
It can take you a long time.
100%.
You know, you could be working on this for a decade.
100%.
You know what I'm talking about, then. So like,
And
it could be a lifetime thing, and then all of a
Right.
sudden, boom, something clicks, and it just takes off.
And the hardest part about what you're saying is even getting people to believe in you while you're creating.
That's like almost.
So how was that for you?
Yeah, it's almost like non-existent. Most
like-
nobody believes in you, especially when you're first trying to start.
Your support system.
You barely believe in yourself. You have no choice but to do it.
Man, if y'all only know my struggle. But like believing in the vision when nobody else see it, like nobody is obligated to believe you
That's good.
or to even help you.
Yes.
The vision is for you.
Right. They're
It's
not
not for
obligated.
them.
You hear that, y'all? He said the people are not obligated. Your family is not obligated to believe in you. It's on you.
It's on you, because there's been times I'm like, why nobody really rocking with me the way I'm like, I'm putting out quality work. Like, what's
They almost stop talking to you. Like they don't even want to hear you talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's one thing that I always kept with me that changed my perspective forever. I remember at the time with my boys, I still rock with my boy Fuego, and then a couple other people. But as far as like the whole label we had built, like that's dissolved. But we was doing a show one time, and I was performing, and didn't know none of the people in the crowd, whatever. And this one dude came up to me after my performance, like, yo, like he was going crazy, like damn, like that was wrong. Like,
He was into it, yeah.
He was into it. And I was like, strangers will rock with you
More,
first
yes.
before
Your
the people
family
you know.
and your friends.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong, like there's some of my family and friends
Yes,
that
yes,
rock
yes,
with me,
yes.
But as far
'Cause
as
I
like
rock
the
with you.
Yeah, like with the masters, if you got to get the other people to believe you, then your family and friends.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
oh,
what
I
happens.
understand.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you always like when we was having a conversation the other day, proof of concept. You got to have a proof of concept that this works. Then other people can see the results. Like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Oh, that makes sense. Like, because,
But the hardest part too is when you're when that's going down. You need them the most at that time, and by the time they realize it, you're like, I don't really need you no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of the way it goes.
Right here.
100%. Because it's like that's the thing, and it gets tricky because it can go depending on how they were handling you at that time. If they were just blatantly just not trying to support at all, not sharing nothing, X, Y, and Z, then it's like, I got you. Bet when I'm on, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me when I'm on.
Right.
Because they like, I try to talk to you right now and had a conversation, but you wasn't trying to really mess with me.
And some
But
people want things to happen overnight, and if they don't see it happen in 6 months to a year, they really stop believing in you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So it's just like, if they don't see it, it's like, if they don't believe in it, it's like, okay, cool, you're not obligated to.
Right.
But once this start popping and start working, understand when you say I'm acting different, I'm like, nah, You didn't give me the energy that I was trying to give you from the get-go.
Right.
And now you want to tap into my energy, into my source. I'm like, this energy is premium. I operate on premium energy.
Yes.
And you got to stay strong.
You 100%.
Like, you have to stay strong. You have to stay concentrated on the vision, because all these people, they can make it where you feel like, damn, like maybe this isn't gonna work. So you can't focus on them. Because I mean, even with me, I had a really I'm not gonna even put the name out there, but I had a really close family member that I was just trying to vent to at one point. Like, oh man, like this is going on, and my business was still steady. It was doing steady, and I'm like, man, all this is going on, and that family member was like, man, maybe you should just give it all up. I was like, what? Like, it's actually...
Those are the people you want to get out your life.
Yeah, but I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Can I vent? Like, certain people, or even certain times, you can't even vent to certain people. You got to keep that to yourself. Because a lot of the times you're like, damn, I'm just trying to vent to you, just like let it out. But you can't even do that, because then it's like they're trying to push you back. Again,
that's why I'm very selective on, number one, who I talk to and who I seek counsel from. If you're not in my lane as far as any capacity, that you don't know this struggle, I'm like, I always tell people, me personally, I believe anybody that's an entrepreneur, they go through depression multiple different times.
Yes.
Until they own. Like, cause it's a fleeting thing.
Right. You know what I think it is, though? I've been thinking about this, because we've been having a lot of podcasts talking to different business owners, entrepreneurs, and I feel a lot of perspective is coming together for me. So know what I think it is? More than just depression, I think that we're dying to ourselves, our old selves, and a new person is being born. So like having to kill the most like strongest part of you that needs to die in order to become that next person.
Right.
That's why we feel it's a depression. I really think that.
But I don't know if y'all seen my story that I posted last night. In a nutshell, I was saying your higher self is trying to talk to you. And it's hard for you to connect with your higher self because you're so wrapped up in your lower self. But if you let your lower self take, if you allow your higher self to pull you up and listen to your higher self and detach from the old you, is so much more.
Right.
But you can't see it because you're so attached to the old.
You don't want to let it go.
You don't want to let it go. Those bad habits,
right.
You don't want to let it go because it feels good.
The worst habits are the strongest part of you that's the hardest part to let go, and I really believe that.
100%.
You know, so I when you were saying that, it just makes all the sense, and that just came to me now. Like I really don't think it's a full depression. I really think it's you dying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's a good way to look at it.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
I've never heard that, but I literally just thought of that as you were talking. I was like, I wonder if that's what it really is.
Right.
Yeah,
You're actually dying.
Because I have this belief that every day that you go to sleep and you wake up, you recreate yourself based off experiences and memories. So you can choose on who you're going to be that day.
Yeah.
Because think about it. When you go to sleep, your mind is basically, in a nutshell, cut off. And you wake up, you remember certain key things. So when you wake up, you have the ability to create yourself. And that's why I'm rooted in being the master of your destiny. Don't get me wrong, I understand God exists and all that stuff. But a lot of times people, and this is where stuff can get controversial, but a lot of times people speak as things is already written out and is already preconceived. I don't think so. I'm not of that notion because I feel like there's people that became crackheads and got clean and doing good for themselves,
right,
or even great for themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Their story could have stopped right there in the 80s when the epidemic was going on, but they transitioned out of that.
Right.
It's about the mindset and the willpower.
Right.
I believe that.
If you can
100%.
tap into that, then you can create, like, there's something. I remember seeing this interview with Wyclef Jean. And he basically said, in a nutshell, he went from living in a hut in Haiti to living in the projects to living in a house to living in a mansion. You do the math.
Right.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
That should not even happen.
Right.
But he made it happen. He pushed himself.
Yeah.
And it's,
go ahead.
And it's crazy how we don't always need, the people around us to speak life in our life. You can go on different platforms just like this and have others speak life into your life when you have, even some of your peers speaking death or they speaking negative. So it's important that we do, like yourself, you have a lot of people in your life that I'm sure you have a few people, not a lot, a few people in your life that speak life into you.
Yeah.
So how important is that?
Well, number one, I got to speak the fact of your phone call the other day. When you had hit me out the blue, and it was crazy because it was just the confirmation that I needed. And I was, in a nutshell, like, hit me up or whatever. He was telling me about the experience with your recent episode. And I was like, okay, that's dope. I met X, Y, and Z. I'm like, dope, that's dope. But at the time, I was thinking, I'm like, all right, I might not have currently, because I had 2 podcasts going on. Don't Shoot the Messenger, and He Says She Thinks with my boy Richard and my homegirl Erica.
Nice.
But during that time, I was like, all right, I need to get heavy into this content creating. And I know that I dropped these wise words videos or posts, whatever post that I post at the time saying wise words, hashtag. And I was like, you know what? Let me really put a production behind that. And then, so you called, we shooting the shits or whatever. And he was like, yo, you said something the other day. A lot of people looked over. I don't think they really was aware about what you said. And it was to the extent of wanting to create a short film over the summer. And when I posted that, a lot of people, I was just thinking, I'm going to do a project over the summer and, move on to the next thing. When I posted that, a lot of people start tapping in. I want to be a part. I want to be a part. I want to be a part. I'm like, damn. I don't know if they want to be a part because they fuck with me or they just want to be a part of something. But whatever.
Or they just saying they want to be a part. Either or.
That too.
You know what it is, though, too? Before you finish, because I want to lose my train of thought on that. So I feel like a lot of people just want to be a part of something. And even if it's for clout for themselves, but I feel like a lot of people don't even want clout. Because there's certain people that just want to be a part of something. Now they like to be hidden in the cut. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool, like how people are looking for something. Even with this podcast right now, I feel like we don't talk about our feelings. We've never done that kind of stuff, and it's not like we're really talking about our feelings, but we're talking about our thoughts. And this is men, right? So as we're doing this, I feel like this is, in a sense, doing something for our minds, and it's making us be better in our everyday life.
And growing, yes.
And we're growing doing this with certain people, and other people have their own perspective on life and things like that. And as we talk, a lot of things just come together, and it starts to build something. I feel like we're building something not with just ourselves and the podcast and the Howls over Baaz, but with the guests that come in here. I feel like something's being built from that.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Because it's like, and I was having this conversation, I want to say with my boy Fuego. No, matter of fact, it was with you. We was talking about the importance of building community. Because I'm so used to being a lone wolf and just being to myself. Like, by nature, I'm introverted. I had to learn to become extroverted. And I'm still learning. And like the old African proverb I told you the other day, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Because you can do only so much by yourself. But imagine if you can multiply people, another you. Now you're working towards, towards that goal where y'all can build and go further. Versus going fast, it's like, all right, then you get to the top and like, then it's lonely at the top. Because you didn't pull nobody up with you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I believe in this phase of my life, I feel like it's key to build community. And a lot of times people is only out for themselves and trying to build for themselves. Me. But what about the people?
Right.
Like, how many other people can you give an opportunity? Even speaking towards, like, creating that film.
Yes, go back to that.
Like, creating that film, I'm like...
Everybody was interested in...
People was interested, and my thing is, like, this can be a platform that a lot of people could jump off of.
Right.
And build for themselves and start their career, regardless if it's acting or being part of the light crew, the sound, whatever the case may be. Like, if I follow through with this and do it the way that I'm supposed to, and as you said, it was like that was God talking. If I let God keep on planting the seed, it's like, okay, Like, this is the platform that launched X, Y, and Z career. Now they doing big things.
It's going to the top.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, sometimes there's so much that's connected to you, and you got to show up. If you don't show up, there's so many other people that don't even get that opportunity. Are you going to let that die and fade away? Or are you going to be the birth of the next Michael B. Jordan or whoever you want to, you know what I'm saying?
That seed that was planted, you know, is still in the ground.
100%.
And is waiting on you to water it and produce it. Yes.
Germinating.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And we ain't gonna let the pesticides take over.
Hey, nah, this is natural.
Yes.
So what's the idea for this film?
Right now, I'm still building on the idea on which way to go with it. I believe, well, more than likely, I'm gonna either do some type of comedy or a drama, because those are easy to create without a major budget. Because if we start getting into action films, now you gotta do all this extra stunt doubles and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can't rent a helicopter. That's just not in my budget.
Not right now.
Not right now. But it's gonna come.
But it's good that you understand that. You know what I mean? You know your lane already.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just time to walk in it.
100%.
You know?
100%.
So even let's go back to the network real quick. I want to get into some of the stuff, but I feel like
It's
what
so
we're doing
good.
right now is we're
Yes.
just going to stick to this for now.
Right.
So the network thing. So this is something that me and Ronnie been talking about for a little bit. It's funny that you said that, because a lot of the times, a lot of people are in it for me, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to lie, most entrepreneurs, most people that are trying to build something are usually about them. It is what it is.
100%.
I'm going to say I was the same way. Doing this platform though has changed my mind on a lot of things. And we've been talking about building a network for Howls over Baaz, and literally calling Howls over Baaz Network, doing something. I don't know if you're familiar with like a BNI. Are you familiar with like the Chamber of Commerce, things like that? Well, they have network groups where they put all these people in a room, and they kind of just, honestly, they just kind of build each other up a little bit. But what we're thinking of doing, which I think would be great to just explain a little bit what we want to do, is we want to build a network where we bring in entrepreneurs, our creators, our different people together. And that, like the person that is, we team up people as we go. Like, okay, so let's just say there's a group of 30 people, and you're going to team up 2 people together. And each person's going to have to figure out how they can help that entrepreneur. Not about themselves. They got to explain what they do to each other, and then that person has to think. Even if it's something small, it doesn't matter. Even if it's like, hey, I got a connection for you. I don't know anything about your business. I have no connection to your business, but I do got one connection that might be able to connect you. And then somehow it goes, and he has to be there helping him have it go. Not saying you have to have all the time in the world for that. You might not have time, right? But there is things you can do, and it's possible.
100%.
You know what I mean? And
They got time.
Yeah.
There's cell phones. There is.
So there's always something you can do to connect or to help build that business. Even if something small, it doesn't really matter what it is.
Yeah.
But we're going to make it a thing where it has to be done. Like if you're going in this, you're going to have to figure out how you can help that guy and his business out.
I would, just to spitballing ideas for you, I wouldn't even limit it to just one person. I would say each meeting you focus on, so say there's 20 people in a room.
Oh, okay.
Each meeting,
better. Yes.
Oh, my bad.
The cameras. This is your camera. Sorry.
Okay. Each meeting, so say there's 20 people in a room, like y'all choose 5 people to focus on. And so now you're creating a mastermind group.
That's a good
That's
idea.
a good idea.
To create basically a incubation situation where it's like, okay, let's pour ideas into this and let it grow. It's because it's almost, what's it called?
That's a great idea.
What's it called? Group economics. So how a group of y'all come together, and so say every month y'all put $20 in the pot. $20 in the pot. That's the due. $20. Nobody's thinking about $20. You can part ways with $20, especially if y'all working and y'all grinding. And then so after whatever date y'all select, it's like we're gonna dump this into your business or dump it into your marketing, whatever the case, so that we can help grow that. And it's like now you're creating a community where each person is flourishing, and then that way So say you having a tough year or whatever, y'all put so much in the pot already. Like, yo, like, let's have a conversation. Because I'm like, now we have the blockchain technology. So the blockchain, it allows y'all to come to an agreement and hold it, like, and nobody can manipulate the contract. So it's like whatever y'all come to the conclusion to, I don't know the super ins and outs of it, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. It's a contract that nobody can breach, and everybody can view the stipulations of the contract, and whatever stipulations y'all set, that's what y'all abide by. So if it takes everybody to access the account or whatever the case may be, like, y'all have to do your research. Don't take me at my full word.
No. But yeah, this is all ideas, anyways. But yeah, I completely understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's like instead of just like pairing like each person, it's just like the more minds y'all can put towards something,
I like that.
The better.
That's actually a better idea. I like that better.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it like this: it's like we're forming a pack, right? In a sense, they're all alpha.
Pack.
Yeah, we're forming a wolf pack, right? So they're
You're part of the wolf pack.
NWO.
Yeah.
So it'd be all like alpha.
New world order.
Yeah, and it'd be like all alphas, right? Mm-hmm. So as we bring them in, like everybody has their own packs outside of that, but that's the ultimate pack because these are all business owners, all like the masterminds of all these operations.
So why aren't business? And I'm not sure if this is going on, but I don't think why aren't business owners coming together helping other small businesses?
Because everybody's about me.
Right.
There are some people that's clicking up.
Right.
Because I've seen it. Like, I follow different
partnerships,
but not like a network group. That's
no, it's like a network. So
like a major
for example,
network.
Like, do y'all follow Earn Your Leisure?
Yes.
Like, they're good at doing that.
I love Earn Your Leisure.
Circle of Bosses, they're good at doing that. So it's just like, there's not a lot of people doing it, but it's out there. But we need to bring that more to the forefront.
We got to make it common.
100%.
We got to make it common.
Because I'm like, the thing is too, I'm like, especially in current times, I'm like, these banks are shaky.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, the bank community is shaky.
Right.
So I'm like, imagine if you come together with your family or close friends or whatever, and y'all create y'all little system where y'all can pour in and then pull from. And I always had this mindset, and it's not to knock like nobody's religion and stuff like that. I'm more spiritual than religious. But imagine if all the churches, instead of...
Come on.
I'm about to go deep.
Go deep.
So instead of like all the churches is pouring to like the offering or whatever, and you don't know where the money is going, what if like as a community we form banks? Mm-hmm. The church was the bank. Right. Like, you know how much that would change poverty? Yes. And people that's going through, they don't have it to pay their light bill with X, Y, and Z. Like, you could do the loan situation through the church. Like, I'm like, that would be a more... Safe haven, a better solution than what we have in line right now. Because it's just like currently, like with these banks, I'm like, they falling apart. The dollar is about to go digital,
and they using your money for something else.
And like,
they invest your money every time you put it in the bank. So.
Your money might not be there. They go like, hold on, we got to go get your money from over here.
Like, imagine with your church, whatever y'all putting in on a crowdfunding towards a business or some real estate.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You know, like.
That's a great idea.
I'm like, we have to be more forward thinkers. We think that, like, and it's not to knock churches or whatever. That's just my philosophy on that. But it's just as a community, like people coming together and it's just like putting their money in a pot. But it's hard to trust people.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. That's something like, okay, because I got friends. I won't gonna say their names, but I got a few friends that have great ideas. They will not. They will destroy their idea if there was money involved. Like if I gave them money, they would destroy that money. Would be gone. They would destroy the idea. So I feel like if we do a network that we build like this, they got to come with something already. So they have to have their business. There has to be like a really hardcore, things that they have to do in order to be involved in that network. If they can't just join the network, there has to be a bunch of things that they have to go through before we say, okay, this person can join that network. And we have to see their finances, all that kind of stuff, what they're doing. If they're going to be getting money from this network, we got to see if that's something we would do, because what if they're just blowing that money? You know what I mean?
When I did that video for that influencer, the place you live at, the condos, you can't get in unless you make $250,000. You don't even qualify to live. I was like, they do that?
Yeah. Hey, I didn't know they did that either.
I'm like, that was crazy to me. But I'm like, but it keeps like the people that ain't serious about their stuff out.
Yeah.
So just imagine like using like that type of philosophy to just like
Yes.
you have to be in business a certain amount of years. You got to generate a certain amount of income, like so that it weeds out the bad seeds. So it's like, all right, I know that you're responsible. You're, you know, who's the wolves and who's the bass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It differentiates like the two.
Yeah.
So. That's a way to look at it.
That's a great idea. Yeah. I feel like we're just coming together with this idea, just talking about it right now.
Hey, don't have Sxmmnz the creator for no reason.
Yeah, that's right.
We're gonna have to come up with this idea, man.
Hey, put it on paper.
Yeah,
My mom always say, put it on paper, make it plain.
Yes. So do you got a lot of your future goals and stuff on paper, blueprint, anything? Like how do you function? Tell us, how do you function? How do you what does your preparation look like?
With me, I'm a visual person. I just gotta try. Mm-hmm. So it's just like I'll get the idea, and whether or not I might act on it in that particular second, because I might have other things going on, I'm gonna come back to it, and it's like, all right, let's just see what we can put together. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and cap like I'm the most structured person in the world. That's my downfall, is not being super structured and stuff like that. But I know how to put together like the skeleton and build on it.
You know what you're looking for.
I know what I'm looking for. I'm gonna put up the shots and like it might stick it might won't.
I'm the same way, dude. Exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about because that's exactly why I ain't all structured and all that. I see what it is, but I need a team to like put things together here and there, and I gotta make sure it gets done.
But that's the key. Going back to what I was saying, community, because your strong suit might not be structured. Mm-hmm. You know how to birth an idea and cultivate it, but structuring and doing the intricate parts, the paperwork and stuff like that, that might be boring to you. You need to get somebody in place that can do that.
And that's literally what it is. It's boring as hell to me. I hate
so
looking at it.
So if you ain't got a team, you in trouble. You know, because you might be at a stagnant.
Well, no, you can get it done. It's just annoying. And when you get to a certain level, you're like, I ain't touching that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm at a certain spot in my business where I'm not doing that. I don't care what they say. And when I got to do it, I'm like, oh my God, it's like annoying.
It's draining. And it's weird because I'm like, I always say creativity comes in different form, and each form can be tedious, but it utilizes different parts of your mind. Yeah. To where it's like certain things you can do, like so video editing, I can do that, but it's very tedious. Even with photography, it's very tedious. But you start to talk about working on a car or whatever, I'm like, that's a tedious project too, but I ain't doing that. Yeah. I'm not wired for that. I'm wired for this type of tedious, like, so there's different things that, as far as like paperwork, it's either you wired for that type of work or you're not. I don't want to do. It's weird because I'm a selective social person, so I'm introverted and I can be social, but I don't care to talk to everybody. Some people, they just want to talk to everybody, interact. So I'm like, I know in my business, as far as being a content creator, photographer, videographer, whatever you want to call it, I have to interact with people. I can do that with a one-on-one. You put me up in a restaurant to work and be a server, I'm getting fired. I'm getting fired because I'm not that type of social person. Right. Because I'm like, you're going to come complaining to me and you're going to try to pressure me. I'm like, yo, look. Hey, I'm about to call you out your name. And
just eat your food.
You know what I'm saying?
And be merry.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not wired for that. Everybody got their own thing that they're wired for. So building on a business, like a lot of times in the beginning stages, everything falls on you. You have to be the boss and the maintenance guy. Like you gotta play all the roles until you get to a point where you can pay to fill those roles and positions. And that's where I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, okay, it makes a lot of sense to delegate.
You're playing a lot of roles right now. Yeah. You, as an entrepreneur, you have a lot on your plate.
And that's why I'm trying to shrink stuff right now.
so with that being said, so where does Josh want to go? Like, what is, I'm not going to say your end goal, but I want to say, like, what's your big goal? What is something that you probably haven't talked about? Something that, I mean, I know you brought up the film, but what is, let's just say 5 years from now, where does Josh want to be?
So going back to the conversation me and Ronnie had the other day, excuse me, little air burp, my bad.
Oh, yeah.
My major goal is to create a big film studio for the IE. Because oftentimes we have to go to Burbank and Hollywood. And I'm like, there's a lot of talented people out here. And they just need the outlet. Or they need, because I'm like, of course, Warner Brothers Studios, they have everything in the world. But I'm like, what if we had something out here so creatives can come and shoot their podcast or shoot their movie or shoot their television series or record their album, whatever the case may be, having that central hub. And I often say, one day I'm going to be the Tyler Perry of the IE. Like, it's going to be a thing. Like, I'm not, Tyler Perry just bought BET. He has the biggest studio out there in Atlanta right now, where he bought an old, it was an old.
Yes, he just did that.
Confederate base.
Yes.
I'm like, that's powerful. So it was just like, that's my thing, is to create the opportunities and jobs and bring all that stuff for the IE.
And it's growing too. So I mean, that's very possible. They have they have so much stuff coming out here, Rancho area and all that. That's so possible, man.
Because I was like, ideally, which I know is probably not possible now, but who knows what the future says. But I'm like, if I could have, because I know they tore down the Carousel Mall.
Right.
If I could have made that the central hub,
We would have won.
Because I'm like, think about it. San Bernardino County. We live in San Bernardino County. That's the hub right there.
Right.
In that area. And then you actually put positive energy into the community. And now you can give out jobs to help support people in that area. And now it's like, instead of having like the preconceived idea of what they have for San Bernardino, now you pumping funds in it, because the bread and butter back in the day for San Bernardino was the military that was there.
Right.
But they moved a long time ago. So now they don't really have like money really going into the city. So now if you have the central hub of San Bernardino County booming, imagine what it does for the other cities surrounding it.
That's good that you're selfless and you're thinking about other people. You know, I know you can.
I always say, being selfless in a selfish world is the ultimate challenge.
Ultimate challenge.
Yeah, I mean, especially nowadays, I mean, it's all about being selfish.
And big eyes and little U's.
Go on social media, you can just see what their face is like. Selfies, everything is selfish.
And nobody cannot do business. Mike Barron, shout out to Mike Barron, said last week, he says, and it's important because my son is an entrepreneur too. He's 21 and he has the mindset of entrepreneur, and he's doing his best to learn as he go. And I always tell my son, and Mike Barron said it last week, you can't do this alone. You know, we want to be the only one and the only name, and look at me, you know, look what I'm doing. I did this. No one that has done anything in business alone. Donald Trump, you know, anybody who has, you know, a business, and you haven't done it alone, so it's not just you.
Your network is your network.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the big corporations. Obviously, they haven't done it alone. They know that.
Right.
They don't want us to come together.
But that's why that's why they're big corporations,
they're
because they know that they can't.
Publicly traded companies.
Right.
They need other people's dollars to get to where they're trying to get to.
Definitely.
They don't use their own money.
They don't.
Right.
They don't.
Other
They don't
people
use their own
money.
money. We have no choice.
Yeah.
Most of these dudes were born rich. You know what I mean?
Right.
We have no choice but to use our dollars to get going. You know,
Yes.
but they don't want us to get bigger, because then it takes money out of their pocket.
Right.
So the bigger, like, if we came together as a network like that, I guarantee they wouldn't like that.
100%.
They're trying to shut everything down now with the people that are just talking about male masculinity and things
Right,
like that.
right.
We come together as a network. Dude, I guarantee they would try to come at us.
And because they want the ones already in place, because they have control over the ones that's already in place.
Yeah, they want control.
Yes.
That's like number one for sure. That's what they want.
You gotta imagine this. As minorities, black and brown, if we was to come together and say, we not about to spend money with X, Y, and Z company, and we about to grow these businesses and focus on our communities,
We would kill them all.
Bruh.
Like all of them. There's so many of us.
if we took all our monies out the bank, and it like going back to just dollars into transactions and stuff, like they all go crazy.
Right.
And we just got to build community.
That's the key.
I mean, and I feel like a lot of people that are coming in here are understanding that.
Yes.
We've been talking about this, man. This is something we've been talking about. And now, but I feel like talking about it more and more is kind of building more of of something inside of us. We're like, let's just do it. Let's just get it done. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's something we should keep talking about.
100%.
Keep building, you know. But even bring in a lot of guests that we've already bring in, entrepreneurs, come all together. We can even do some type of live with all of us together.
Right. And you said it earlier. How can I help your business?
Yes, and just figure out, hey, what do you guys think about this? What would you guys do? And just come up with ideas and just have a whole podcast about it. That'd be good, dude.
The thing too, like when you do that, like if you ain't coming with the heart to actually activate those thoughts, like if I come in, I throw like $1 million idea, and I don't know who I was talking to about it. I don't know if it was you or my boy, but like a lot of times, like you'll tell people how to make $1 million exactly, and they will not go and do it.
No, they won't. Nah.
Like they would not do it. Like it's the weirdest thing. It's like you could tell them X, Y, and Z. This is how you make a cake, but the fact that they have to do the process and make that cake, they ain't gonna do it.
Nah, they ain't gonna do it. That's the norm. That's why what they were saying. It's 1%, but we're like the 4th% of the world now. Like because there's so many of us now. Like 4% of people that are entrepreneurs of the world. That's crazy. I mean, that's just the way it is. But we've been dealing with other entrepreneurs, so it'd be cool if those guys are trying to do something, right? So if we brought other entrepreneurs together, they were already a step ahead in a sense, so we can all come together and figure out how we would do this network. And that'd be a good thing to show the people and start bringing people in. Because we even talking about, I'm in the Chamber of Commerce for Fontana, and Fontana just gave up the most money in history out of all the United States to, they gave a grant to a transportation business out here over $1 million. You know, I'll give her a shout out. She's the one that was in charge of that.
Right.
And so I've met the mayor of Fontana, and we want to get them on the show. So shout out to you guys. But that's something that they're doing. They want to keep businesses in Fontana and people in Fontana job opportunities.
Yeah,
so
like, if you look at all the warehouses that just been popping up, it's like Amazon on every block.
Yeah.
like it's real out here. So I'm like, I believe it. Like they're pumping money into here to make the economy like boom and keep people here. Like, because I'm like, if you look at the pandemic or when it happened, a lot of people couldn't work. They could not work, and you either had to have some hustle on you, or you doing a PPP or whatever the case may be. Like it showed people true colors. That's when I started like really leaning into my entrepreneurship. I'm like, because go ahead.
Do you think AI will come in and take over any part of your business in your fields? Is it a possibility?
I don't think so. Not right now. As far as like, so let's say photography and videography. Like maybe down the line they might figure out the nuances, but there's certain nuances to filming and photography that a computer can't do right now. So it's like there's certain settings and certain like that I don't like that shot, run it back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to capture the emotion.
The detail is too strong.
The detail of just knowing what emotion to tap into is like you can make that a little bit more convincing. Or like with editing, like there's different tools you can utilize to help the process, but without somebody activating it, it's like it don't really make too much of a difference. But I won't say it's impossible.
Well, I think this, and I've been thinking about this a lot, and I've been listening to some other people talk about this, and I think that the jobs, AI is going to take a lot of jobs, but if you're a howler, I don't feel like you got to worry about that.
That's good.
You know
100%.
why though? Because you're going to learn the AI system you need to learn to build your business better.
Yes.
Or you're going to be scared of the AI, and the Baazes are going to be done.
Right.
They're going to be, I mean, there's going to be so much poverty probably because of this.
Right.
But the howlers are going to use AI. I'm using AI to my advantage right now.
Right, to supersede.
I'm using AI to my advantage. I'm plugging in all my information for Fix It Diesel, and it's learning my business. I'm plugging all my information for Howls over Baaz, and it's learning the business. As you keep doing that, it learns your business, so it can help create more. What can I do to optimize my business? Boom, and it starts telling you stuff.
Yeah,
so
Chat GPT is a real thing.
And the thing is, like, if you're gonna, like, what I'm looking at is people are afraid of AI. I'm looking at AI like, I'm going to use you to my advantage.
Yeah, because they ain't coming in here working on no diesels.
No, but even then, I still wouldn't be scared because I look at it like, AI is the guy who used to work here. Yeah, writing all my stuff up. Right. He's my Richardson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like I literally have that to my advantage.
It's your advantage because now you don't have to pay $30 an hour, $32 an hour.
No, I got somebody in here. Boom. Now it's just AI. Boom. Right. But it's even doing more than that. It's learning all the stuff I'm plugging in. So I use it to my advantage, and I feel like if you're a certain kind of person, that's how you're going to look at it. Like, I got all this now. I got way more. But everybody's like, oh, shoot, I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared because it's going to take my jobs. And those people that are scared, it is going to take their jobs. But the people that are looking at it as an advantage, then boom, because, that can write your resume.
Right.
You know what I mean? I write your whole dope resume for you.
And they should be taking all these fast food jobs because people should be wanting more for their lives.
Yeah, building more businesses, building things.
Businesses.
So,
and warehouses, you know what I mean? You can't get stuck in a warehouse too long.
Man, trust me, I did that for majority of my adult life, and I won't go back.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I've been to a warehouse for one of my customers, and they don't have nobody working there. They have like a supervisor there walking around, that's it. And they have machines putting all the boxes up and doing all that. There's nobody there.
Right.
Crazy.
So, like hundreds of people that would work at something like that, gone. Job gone.
Yeah.
You know?
That's not, because I did warehouse work since 18 until, till 2018. I don't remember how old I was, but.
And you still were an entrepreneur while you were doing this.
I was still grinding on the side or whatever. But I wish I would have left a long time ago. And my last job, which was, I was working at Frito-Lay, which was a good paying job. But it was taking too much of my time.
I remember.
Man, working graveyard shift, working 10, 12-hour days. I was burnt out and I was getting depressed on it. And I guess I call it divine intervention. But it came to a point where they let me go because of my attendance. So it forced me to get on my hustle. It's like, all right, you about to figure this out.
Get on the grind.
So thank you, Frito-Lay, for letting him go because now he's doing better.
Now he's howling.
It forced me to get on my grind and figure this out. And even though today I'm still trying to figure it out because I'm trying to grow business, but I would have stayed comfortable.
Yeah.
It forced me. It's like, yo, if you ain't going to move, look, I'm going to give you a little nudge. Get out there in the deep end. Kick your feet.
So when me and my brother started my business, we got fired too because they found out we had a shop on the side, and he just didn't like it. It wasn't interfering with what he had. So I wouldn't even been a business owner if he didn't fire me.
Yeah.
Right.
I used all that money that I did on my last check to start my business.
Yeah.
And I haven't stopped since, but that was 8 years ago.
Howling.
So sometimes, you need to get fired.
Yeah, you gotta
get uncomfortable. Sometimes you gotta be in a comfortable position.
Getting fired is uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because I'm like, it was, like I said, it's divine intervention. God is looking at you. I'm like, I know you don't want to be there.
Right.
But we're going to have to fix that because this ain't for you.
Right.
You've been saying that for the longest, so let me give you a little push. It's going to hurt a little bit. You're going to feel uncomfortable, but if you keep on kicking your feet in the water, swing your arms a little bit, you're going to
start swimming?
I'm floating.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let me kick my feet in one direction and move towards one direction. Now I'm actually swimming.
I want to ask you one question because we are getting, we are already almost out of time.
Overtime, really?
Yeah, so I want to ask you a question before we're out of time.
Okay.
I want to ask you, who is Josh Sxmmnz? Who are you? Take away all electronics, everything you got going on. Who are you as a person?
Joshua Sxmmnz. I believe in God first and foremost. That goes without saying. I'm a father, son, brother. Can't say I'm a husband just yet. I'm a man that stands on principle and honor. A lot of times people don't really talk about honor nowadays. It's a lost art, I guess you can say. But I believe in honor. The honor system is important because when things get real, it's going to show what you really built on.
Yes.
When it gets real and you have no honor about yourself, are you going to rob your brother so you can stay afloat? Or are you going to figure it out or come to your brother and was like, yo, I'm hurting X, Y, and Z instead of robbing them?
Chills.
You know what I'm saying?
I got the chills.
So it's just like, I believe in being a man about your word, being a grinder, being a hustler, being a howler, and just keep on pushing. I'm just a man that just feel like you got to keep on pushing and moving your purpose. Figure out what your purpose is and keep on moving towards that. Even when it seems like it's dark and far away, keep on moving, keep on pushing, because it might not make sense, but it's going to get greater later. It might not make sense now, but it gets greater later.
Good.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I want to thank you for coming out.
I appreciate the invite.
And I want you guys to like and subscribe, like this episode, and subscribe to us. We'll keep building up. I appreciate all you guys watching and subscribing. And we have a lot of people watching in Russia for some reason, and I thank you guys for watching.
Good. Shout out to Russia.
Yeah, shout out to Russia. And so thank you for coming on. That's Howls over Baaz.
Howls over Baaz.
Shed the sheep, and we're out.
We're out.
Hey.